Well, let's get this for proximity. We have
Yeah.
1 week left with Tiffany as the director of operations before she steps down. This is the last week. It doesn't mean she's not back in the calls, but it just means that
Yeah.
she's working on with her business. So I totally get that. Um, anyway, big heart. Love you. You're awesome. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about guarantees. We're going to talk about things that you can use to promote yourself as an expert to create some value. And I'm back in an old setting, but I don't have my tools in front of me. So you may recognize the backdrop. It's missing some of my better tools, but we'll get to those as we go. I'm a big believer of guarantees. I think that there's an opportunity there to help the guarantees. Basically, here's the premise, and you all pay close attention to this. The reason behind having a guarantee that's out there that you're giving to the public persona is simply to get people to raise their hand. It is usually to, and it's going to be to address an issue. Now, think about this. And this is where you have to either put it in the chat or just shout it out. Do you know what the number one biggest complaint people have about real estate agents is? Anybody? Can you take a guess? It's communication. I'm sorry, what was that? What were you throwing out there, Ted?
I was going to say communications. You beat me to it.
Number one, you're absolutely right. The number one issue people have with real estate agents is that real estate agents don't communicate, that they're not communicating enough. However they put it, that my agent, I don't hear from my agent. Okay, what would be their number one fear that most people have? And this is a generalization that most people have when thinking about, oh my God, I have to list my home or I've got to work with a buyer. But for listing sites, what's their number one fear?
Long-term contract?
Exactly right. That is it. I'm going to be tied into a contract forever and ever. And here's the truth. And I can only speak to the state I live in. And please do your research, read your contracts, know it. But in the state I'm in, if a seller wants to get out of a listing, they can do it. We're not going to win. We're not going to fight it. There's no legal recourse on our part for the most part, except for a cancellation fee, which is a big red no anyway. Bottom line is their fear is unfounded. So we've got lack of communication on the buyer side. We've got the biggest contract or fear that sellers have is fear of an extended contract. What are a couple other fears? Can anybody put it in the chat if you want to, or just let me know for sure what you're thinking? What would be another fear that you can come up with? Maybe, I don't know, I bought the wrong house. That would be legitimate. So we're going to cover some guarantees that you can put into use, and you'll have to do a little bit of work for these, but there are opportunities out there to address these fears and address these fears before the buyer gets there. Now, has anybody here, show of hands, heard of, I'll sell your home in X number of days, or I'll sell it for free? Has anybody heard that? Show of hands who's seen that? All right. So that's a pretty standard. Well, here's the inside track on how that works. And let's see, Ted, I'm going to use you, or Joe, I'll use you just because you answered back. So you and I can do a little bit. You've got your mic on, which is awesome. But think about this. You've got a home that you want to sell. And I say, I'm going to sell your home in 45 days guaranteed, or I'll step in and make the mortgage payments until we do. Now, that's actually a 45-day guarantee. I've used that and I've trademarked it, so you can't use that one. But Joe, what's your question going to be? Or better yet, if you saw this, and you wanted to know about it, basically you went like this. You're like, I'm going to raise my hand. All right, that's enough that I'm interested in knowing about it. The conversations that'll go on, imagine you put yourself in the position, you're the seller, you saw that guarantee, 45 days, and you said, okay, I want to know more information about it. So you call up and say, what would you say? So you just saw a 45-day guarantee, I'll step in and pay the mortgage until it does.
What would I say to that?
Yeah, if you're calling to find out about that, what would be the question you would have?
I don't know. That's That's pretty deep. That's pretty heavy. I guess how do I believe that you have that money to do that for me every month? Or I
Exactly.
would say for how long, you know?
How
I don't
does it
know.
work? How is that possible? You're going to step in and pay the
How is that
mortgage.
legal or yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually happened. Now, I want you guys to know that with this 45-day guarantee, I listed and sold over 150 homes in a 12-month period of time. Now, it was matched to a declining market. This was 2006 and 7 as the market was going down. But the truth is, and I use TV, which is a very expensive medium, but the
Mhm.
conversations, and we had about 250 of these conversations. They were exactly what you said. So, how does that work? And here's our response. Well, that's just one of the many things that we do to cause our clients' homes to sell. And it's 100% guaranteed, and we haven't had to use it frequently. But as I said, that's a very small portion of what we do. We are known for marketing, we're known for whatever the case may be. Why don't we do this? Why don't we set up a time for you to have a quick conversation with George? We can talk about your home and what we can do to cause it to sell. He can further explain our 45-day guarantee, and there'll be no obligation at all for you to do anything except make a decision based on what's best for you and your personal situation. What time tomorrow at 10 o'clock would be great. Now, what we're looking for, I wanted to give you that because the question is, well, how do you get past it?
Yeah.
I've never had to use a 45-day guarantee. Most people that say we guarantee to sell your home for free if it's not sold in 60 days won't do that. Here's how the 45-day guarantee worked, and here's how all guarantees work. The purpose is that Joe engaged with me. That's the singular purpose. There was something that was enticing enough to allow his guard to go down because everybody knows that we're going to. I hate to say it that way, but the perception is if I talk to an agent, they're going to tie me into a really long contract. They're going to manipulate me into where I have to do something. And I don't know if there's a value for me. So when you hear it's like today's topic, when we're talking guarantees, when you hear guarantee, I want you to hear more than anything that it is really a way at which to lower their defenses and allow the barrier to come down. Here's how the 45-day guarantee works. If you decide to list your home with us, we guarantee to sell your property in 45 days, or we will step in and make the mortgage payments until they do. Now, until it does. Now, we'll do that at the end as far as a credit, and the credit will only be a maximum of 50% of our total commission that's being paid. And in doing so, we agree to a price that both of us agree to, which cannot be more than 3 to 5% over what we feel the appraised value of the property will be, which we can, of course, support. And we'll all agree that that's what the 3 homes and appraisal will use. Basic real estate skills. Now, if you decide to go with that, what we're going to do is we have a written guarantee, which is a one-page thing that says at 14 days from listing your property on the market, we agree to reduce the property 3%, then another 14 days, 3%, and then another 7 days, 2%, another 7 days, 2%, 14 days, 3%, 14. You see how this kind of carries on. But here's the bottom line. If we can get into 45 days, which is around 7 weeks, let's say 7 weeks plus or minus, I have the first 2 weeks, 3%, the next 2 weeks, 3%, the following week, 2%, the following week, 2%, the following week, 2%. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12% reduction in the list price. Now, at any given time, the seller can stop and say, I want to pause this. Let's just stay at that price. And nothing happens that we don't reduce it, but the 45-day guarantee is taken off the table. So they're in control of what works. And the reason we do this is simply to make sure we have traffic coming in. But here's the funny part. Nobody asked us about it. So we can do that. There are set reductions that we put into place to assure, but you've seen that you're pricing your home and you probably want to sell it. So why don't you just take control of it? And you don't have to worry about the guarantee, which we're glad to do. But that kind of regiments when we do the reductions, I would love for you to be in charge. What they wanted is to feel comfortable having a conversation because there's something in it for them. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of. Nobody wants to be to not go in with a sense of security. So let's talk about some guarantees that are possible. The biggest one is a long-term contract if you're working with sellers. Why wouldn't we put together a one-page document, flyer, something? This is all really about systems. Okay, I hooked you guys with guaranteed programs, and these guaranteed programs are terrific. But imagine if you were systemizing this, where you said, I'm going to take the programs we speak of today, and I have some things I'm going to give you, but I'm also going to be able to provide you with websites to have examples of it. But I want you to make a one-page document, a Word document, or better yet, probably on Canva, that talks about your guarantee. Now, as far as sellers are concerned, the advanced guarantee is, of course, I'll sell your home in 60 days, or I'll step in and pay the mortgage, or I'll step in and buy it. Now, remember, maybe you put in there guaranteed cash offer. The guarantee is completely up to you, but I would have it in writing. I would have it where it's something you can share, something you can showcase to them. And it's also something that you're going to be marketing on, that we guarantee a cash buyer. We have a gentleman, a real estate brokerage in our area called Mark Spain. Guaranteed cash offer on your home. Okay, every one of you can say, I can offer you a guaranteed cash offer. Here is, oh, somebody just logged in. Okay, sorry about that. My computer just told me that somebody else was logging in. Very possibly that is Jackie. In fact, I'm sure it is. She's logged in as me on the bottom. This guaranteed offer allows, I lost my train of thought there. Let me make sure I'm going to regroup on this one. Oh, the guaranteed cash offer. We guarantee a cash offer on your property within the first 4 weeks, or first 4 days of listing, within 72 hours, a guaranteed cash offer. Most of us can use express offers. But here's the other side of it. You can make a cash offer talking to anybody, myself included, and I guarantee you a cash offer at 60% of the value of the property. Now, is that enough? Absolutely not. But that gives you enough time, if you say within 72 hours or within the first week, at least guaranteed one cash offer, you can do that. Now, do you have to have a system in place to know how to do it? Absolutely. Can you use express offers? Absolutely. Can you talk to an investor in your local area that would be interested and say, what is your loan to value? If I gave you a property, could you run the numbers and tell me what a cash offer would look like? And then present that as a cash offer, because they can validate that it will do it. Here's the thing. I would buy a property, so would almost every one of you, at 40%, or excuse me, at 60% of the value of that property on the current open market, meaning at 60 cents on the dollar. Who wouldn't? I would turn around and then sell it again in a couple of weeks for 80 cents on the dollar and put 20% in my pocket. But that is a guaranteed cash offer. And that is coupled with something else probably going to be pretty beneficial. As we said with sellers, the biggest fear is a long-term contract. Why wouldn't you? Remember, they're not valid. Why wouldn't you have something that says guaranteed, cancel anytime for any reason? You can't keep them in contracts, so why not address the elephant in the room? Now, I am being very transparent. I went to a seminar a couple of days ago that was very educational for me, and it brought back a lot of things that I have not focused on in the last couple of years. And you can bet your bottom dollar that all of this is stuff I'm going to be working on. These are my WOB, working on business projects. I will have a guaranteed cancel anytime to talk about with every single person. And it'll be something that's on social media. We also have a buy your house buy your house guaranteed cash offer on your property. So how about this one? And this is the one that really excited me, that got my mind spinning. Think about a buyer. What would be a big fear for a buyer? Well, the biggest one is buying the wrong house. Does that make sense? Do y'all get that? It's like, did I make a mistake? Did I buy the wrong house? Here is the guarantee that I was referring to. How about a love it or leave it guarantee? We're so sure we'll find your perfect home. We guarantee it. You finding the perfect home takes work. It also takes listening to what's important to you and paying attention to the little things along the way. How it works. We take the risk out of buying a home by offering you a love it or leave it guarantee. Buy a home with confidence, knowing that if you don't absolutely love it within the first 12 months, we'll sell it for free on our side and help you find a new home. Now, y'all think about that. We have a love it or leave it guarantee. We'll help you find the perfect home. And if you don't absolutely love it, we will sell it for free on our side for the first 12 months, guaranteed, and help you find the perfect home. That's how confident. Let that sink in for a second. Your biggest fear has been resolved, and it won't cost you anything. We'll sell it for free. What we're doing is we're causing people to have their tension level go down with the process, and realize that we go over and above, that we do things that are a little bit different, not everybody else is doing. Now, the love it or leave it guarantee, I'm going to share my screen on this real quick. I'm going to give this to you guys as well. This is the website that I'm going to share with you. And this is the love it or leave it guarantee, where you can actually pull all this information, though you can design a squeeze page that looks exactly like this. You can do anything you want, but there's really good information in here, and it's in the Word document that I'm going to be dropping in the chat for you as well. Here's another guarantee. Get rid of that. This is their guarantee. We guarantee privacy. We guarantee quick response. We guarantee the team is going to be working for you. The biggest fear when signing a contract with a real estate agent, you're worried about locked into a lengthy agreement, less than competent agents. It causes you to miss valuable time on the market. If you have guarantees in place for biggest challenges and issues, you're going to find very quickly, in my opinion, that there's a lot more people that are wanting to work with you because you've already solved their problems. Now, hang tight a second, because I wrote some of these down. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to pull that back up. So I came up with something I thought was kind of interesting as well, and it's a certificate of appreciation. Good heavens, and it's making me log in all kinds of wonky. This is something I'm sharing with you guys too. I want you to have it. It's just something I put together very quickly, so it is something you can add on as well, and it's a certificate of appreciation. Let's see if I can make this bigger so we can see it. Okay, so this is a little bit challenging to see, but you'll get the thrust of it in just a couple of seconds. It's a certificate of appreciation. Let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger for us. There we go. The following gift is presented by whatever their name would be. This certificate of appreciation entitles a possessor to redeem a time of closing on the sale or purchase of their property, 1,000 contribution towards closing cost expenses as a gift from George Philbeck and Jackie Sosa, parentheses, your trusted real estate professionals for life. My signature will go right up here. Jackie's will go right here. This is numbered. I will make this and I will give this away to everybody that I buy or sell with. I will also give it away numbered to anybody who is, listen, if you have a friend, obviously I will do this for you, of course, because you're really my very close friend. But if you have a friend that would benefit from this, I'm going to give you a certificate of appreciation that you can share with your friend. It's a gift from you for $1,000. So you have to go through the work of actually typing in their name and signing it and changing the number. And this will be for you all. It's part of what we have. Tiffany, I'm going to send over a Word document in the chat. And that Word document has the links for everything that we just did here. but I'm not going to do it just yet because I don't know where it is and I can't pull it off just yet. I'm working with wonky screens. I promise it will be in the daily downloads, and I'll drop the links in the chat too. I think I could do that. So where's the Canva links? I'm used to working with literally 3 screens, and they're all set up different, and I'm working off my iPad. So here is the love it or leave it guarantee. And here's the Canva certificate of appreciation that I just did. It's a Canva button, so you should be able to share that pretty easily. If not, we'll figure out a solution for you. I like that one a lot. And the sold in 35 days or sold in 60 days, just so that you have a reference point to it, is in here as well. Tiffany, as I said, I do have a Word document that I'll be dropping off, or I'll probably email it to you once I get it done, and we could put it in the daily downloads on the front page. There's another one that we're working on. And imagine this. Another fear that people have is if your home doesn't go up in value, oh my God, what are you going to do? Well, we've taken care of that. We have an increase in value, or selling commission is reduced. So we are so confident in making sure that when you buy a home, it's going to continue to go up in value. Is that if you don't see a rise in value on your property, we're going to reduce our commission when it comes times to sell, because we have skin in the game in your investment as well. Now, I haven't worked out the full dynamics of it, but imagine if you did that and said, we'll reduce our commission by 10% if your value goes down even 1%, and we'll reduce it by 20% if it goes down any more than 3%. Now, historically, values don't go down, but think about it this way. More than anything, 79% of the real estate agent or the buyers that buy a home use a different agent when selling their home. Don't you want that free business? And isn't that worth making a guarantee that has a historical value of probably never happening, but keeping you front and center? We want everybody that works with us not to be our past clients. We want them to be our clients for life. And having guarantees that support their values, what's important to them, is extremely important. I saw somebody go as crazy as to say repairs aren't an issue anymore. In fact, because there are always little repairs that show up, we will negotiate on your behalf up to $500 worth of the little stuff to make sure things work out right for you. For some of you that don't know this, and almost, well, let's say 50% of the time, there is going to be a conversation that goes on from agent to agent where it's like, listen, truth of the matter is, we both know this. We're $1,000 away from this closing. The buyer is stuck. They want this. The seller is stuck. They want this to happen. They're not willing to bend. We're $1,000 apart. By putting that out, and that happens realistically 50% of the time, there's something that we're asked for. It can also be, I don't know, a closing gift along with a certificate of appreciation that they can share with anybody. And of course, they get their own certificate of appreciation, which goes in their closing paperwork for when they're ready to sell. They have $1,000 credit. Oh my goodness, isn't that a great closing gift? I got your back when you close, as opposed to more money out of pocket. You can think of all sorts of different opportunities here. When you run across, and if you went to ChatGPT or to Bard or something like that, I haven't done it yet, but I will. In fact, I'm going to do that as soon as we hang up. And I typed in biggest buyer complaints when buying a property, from buying real estate, biggest seller complaints when buying real estate. They'll give you the summary of them. Put a guarantee in place for all of them. You'll solve every single person's problem. And again, your home sold in 45 days, or we'll step in and pay the mortgage until it does. 150 homes sold in 1 year. Now, I had a very large blanket of people I communicated that with. But what happened more than anything, and I want you to realize, is people said, I'm going to raise my hand. I feel like I'm protected. Cancel the contract anytime, anytime. It's your house, you're in control. Okay, I'm a little bit better. Guaranteed that when I sell my home, if there's $500 worth of negotiating that has to be done, my agent will take care of it. That my home is sold in 45 days. That my home will be sold for a specific amount, that I'll get a guaranteed cash offer. If I'm buying a home, if I don't like the property I'm purchasing, I can literally sell it for free and buy another home. Why wouldn't this be part of our marketing going forward? Now, I don't want you to say, I'm going to do all of them. I want you to pick one, perhaps put it out there in social media, make a short 90-second video, put it out there. I said, this is what I do for the people that matter most. And those are the people I choose to work with. And I'm very selective. I love helping people that really, whatever you want to do, something that gives a little exclusivity, that makes you, separates you. Now, remember, all of you, if you're brand new, awesome. If you're not brand new, awesome. You are a professional. Think of a doctor. If we go to a doctor or a lawyer or a CPA or anything, you will wait a little bit for your scheduled time, and their time is valuable, and you appreciate their time because they're providing a service. You need to be that service provider. All right. Guaranteed communication. I'm going to lead with this or finish with this one. The biggest issue we have as representing anybody in real estate is we have a communication deficiency. Everybody knows it. It's the number one issue people have. My real estate professional doesn't communicate with me. So how could you offer to guarantee communication? I put my money where my mouth is. My clients are more educated and thereby more benefiting when they buy and sell their homes. And I do that by saying, if I'm not communicating at the absolute highest level, a minimum of once per week, I actually pay them $100, $500, $1,000 every week. I don't communicate at the absolute highest level. Well, but I don't have $1,000. Then just communicate with them. No matter what, call them on Wednesdays. We call our clients every Wednesday. We communicate in some way, shape, or form every Wednesday. It's called Eating the Frog. We've been doing it for 18 years. It's very easy for me to say, I'm going to communicate with my clients every single week. And I could put $1,000 on that in a second. But what I'm really doing is I'm taking communication off the table. I'm separating myself from the herd. All of you have the ability to do this. Now, this is systems. This is how we do it every time. This is what we stand up for. This is addressing the elephant in the room that most people are afraid to talk about. Here's the example. I can't guarantee I'm going to sell your home at any price. I can guarantee your home will be sold in 60 days, or we'll make a cash offer. Okay, tell me more about it. Well, that's just one of the things we do. This guarantee for sure. Now, obviously, we want to make sure that we're finding the right market. Here's your scripts that you practice. And we have some setup adjustments, but remember, you're always in control. You can say, stop. This is where I want to be. This is the right price point. And I'm for that, because what we're really looking for more than anything is not a reduction, but getting the highest amount of money for your home. And that means more traffic. But either way, you're having a conversation face to face. 75%, the number's a little higher, I'm being generic because I don't know the exact number, but 75% of the people will work with the first person they speak to. You need to be that person. Right now, myself and Jackie included, we're not. We're not even in the game because they don't know to call us. They don't know value that we bring to the table. Now, that doesn't make y'all bad. I've been doing this for 20 years. So is my wife, Jackie. And we're very good at what we do. But we've been order takers, as you guys have. and are probably for the last couple of years. It's been crazy. Here's work time. Now we have to do the work. And you folks, me included, we have to start communicating at a higher level and a lot more professional. So write these down if you have them. Love it or leave it. It's in the chat. Certificate of appreciation. Give that to anybody. Now it takes a little effort because you'll have to sign it and you'll have to create it. And there's a link there for you. And it's a Canva document. You can go to Canva and type in certificate and then make your own. And what you're doing is you're giving away. I use $1,000. Now I would challenge everybody, depending on your market. Our average commission is around $10,000 right now, $8,500 to $10,000. If they're giving this to somebody, and I've told them, don't you worry, Susan and Bob, you already have that coming. If they give it to somebody, I said, if you give it to somebody, please let me know, because I'm going to write them a handwritten note and say, listen, I know that Susan and Bob have given you a certificate, and I just wanted to let you know when you're ready, I am ecstatic to talk to any friend of theirs. So I want to know when they give that one away so I can give them another. But I want you guys to think of the value of giving away $1,000 for them to refer you to somebody that you don't know. Because normally what happens is, let's say I'm in a $10,000 market. For me to get information about somebody I don't know, I need to give away 25 to 35% in form of a referral to another real estate professional. $2,500, $3,000, $1,000, and a testimonial from a friend. This one wins every day. It's called cost of goods, cost of doing business. You will pay for some form of lead generation to get your business. I would challenge you that a certificate of appreciation that a friend, where it says their name on it, can give to another friend and say, hey, this is my preferred business partner. You're thinking of selling, I've got $1,000 gift that I'm going to give you. They're great. That's the referral you want, even if they don't have it, or give it to somebody by them possessing it. And I laminate these. Okay, this would be a laminated thing that is very formal. They can't change it. It is numbered. The numbers never start with the number 1. Start with like 23 or 24, because you've given these out to preferred guests before, and keep adding to the number and making it different. Okay, you're going to save the template. Then you just literally print it, go to Kinko's, have them laminated. After it's signed, you've got the right names in there. It would definitely go in the closing package for any buyer. So that's a certificate of appreciation. You may have a sold guarantee you want to work on it. I suggest you start with one and kind of craft it, as I did with my 45-day guarantee. Increased value or selling commission reduced. There isn't a wrong answer. There isn't a formula you have to deal with. But think about this. It just is a ballpark. What I would suggest, if you're going to do that, is we guarantee your home will increase in value, or we'll reduce our commission when it's time to sell. If your home doesn't go up at least 1% in value when you sell your property, we're going to reduce our commission by 10%. And if it doesn't increase at least 3%, we're going to increase it more. Actually, 1%, 20%, 3%, 3% increase, more than 3% increase, we're going to reduce it still 10%. So 20%, 10%. You're picking up a sale. They're working with you because there's a value to it. The chances are that the person you sold a home to won't use you to buy a home or to list their property. We've proven that statistically. This is an engagement game. Any offer of sold in 60 days, sold in 30 days, whatever that is simply to people you don't know well, showing them that they are safe. It is solely to get them to raise their hand and have conversations. Okay. These guarantees need to be crafted by you. There are great examples of different websites. You can search anything you want. Like if you type in love it or leave it, that will actually show up. Amy Stockburger is the one that has a website, or a one-page website, which is called the landing page. that explains that. And that's besides a certificate, which you can hand out, the next evolution is having a landing page. And a landing page, think of it this way, it's a one-page website that explains exactly what a certificate would do, but it does it in website format. Now, I challenge you to consider if you're going to do that. Lead Pages is a great place at which to do. Lead Pages, unfortunately, will cost about $37 to host that page per month, period, ongoing. That's $370. So I would encourage you to probably have a couple pages you want to create and start to utilize them. Guarantees allow people to be more comfortable. There's one put in here, and we touched on this one for repairs. We're going to negotiate on your behalf any and all repairs up to $500. You won't even have to know about them. We're going to make sure they go away because it's the little things that'll throw off your experience, and that's our job to handle them. And we're so committed, we're going to put $500 of our own money towards handling those issues should they arise. And here's the shocker. Most people won't take advantage of your generosity. There won't be any issues if you negotiate well and advise well. And if there are, you'll take 500, which means they're off the argument table. They're into, wow, you're great table. And either way, you get to brag on it. You can even go as far as spinning that around and saying, you know what, I'm going to use some of that money that we didn't spend on a really good dinner for y'all as a way of saying congratulations on your new house, or a cleaning service, or whatever you want. Create the relationship, then give them that certificate of appreciation to share with whoever they want. And if they need another one for another special friend, let me know. I'll get it to you. And when you get it to them because they want a second appreciation, which you actually have to print and sign and change the number and laminate, make a big deal in bringing it over to them. A huge deal. Here's a question I want to ask you guys. And for the people that I can see that have your faces on, first off, thank you very much for having your faces on. All of you, Tiffany included, I want you guys to consider this. If somebody were to recommend or refer to you 3 people over the course of a year, would it make sense to send the husband and wife and 2 children on a on a 3-day cruise, all paid for? Interior rooms, they can upgrade themselves. That's about $2,000. Who says that's a good investment for 3 referrals in 1 year? I do. That's potentially $30,000, but realistically, of those 3, it's probably $20,000. And I want them to continue to do that next year. There is somebody who is referral partner. I don't remember her name, and it's a shame because she's brilliant. And I'll finish with this, and then we'll turn it over to conversations. She has a very special group of people that are in referrals only, and they're able to join her referral only Facebook group. And she gives things away. And to be in that Facebook group, you have to have referred 3 people to her over the course of the last 5 years. Now, what she gives away, and this doesn't make sense to me because I don't know anything about this, but she gave away a Gucci purse. Is that a lot of money? Gucci, I mean, that's kind of a good brand, I'm assuming. I don't know anything about them. Give away a Harley Davidson, you got my attention. Gucci purse, you're on your own. But she's giving things away to people that are doing that. And she's rewarding the referrals, and that's where her business comes from. It's referral based. The thing is, the money spent is going to be spent on some form of marketing, which is forward expense, or it can be spent as a reduction of a commission. The same amount of money is invested. One of them is in advance. The other is in reverse, is after it's compensated. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather spend money that I've just made as opposed to money I'm investing that I hope will turn into fruition. You can tell somebody, I'm going to list your home, I'll get it sold, and I will do it, and I will pay 25% or 50% or whatever the number is you come up with. At least you have money coming in. No, I'm not an advocate of a discount brokerage at all. I'm not an advocate of discounting your commission, but I do know that it costs. In my case, when I was doing the TV, it cost me 20% per closing. That was my out-of-pocket expense. You're going to have one as well. You can't get around it. It's the cost of doing business. Guarantees help you. weight that at the end as opposed to front weight it by putting it up first. And it makes you an expert. All right. This is something I'm extraordinarily passionate about. I think you can get that. I hope that this brought some value to you. Does anybody have any questions about any of the topics we covered or any of the guarantees and value propositions that we've added? I'd love to be able to address any questions y'all have.
Yeah, George, I do.
Shoot, Ed.
Some of those guarantees seem pretty out there. And to fulfill those is, I think, pretty steep. So for a person
Give me an
like
example of which one.
Love It or Leave It, that
Okay.
that one hit me pretty hard. Like, all right, if you don't completely love it, we're gonna sell it for free. I mean, wow.
Well, you missed it. We're going to sell it for free and buy another home. We're going to sell it for free and help you buy another property. And you have 1 year at which to do so. Does anybody here have any statistical idea of how many people actually sell their home in the first year?
0.
It's pretty close to it. Most don't. And maybe you say for the first 6 months, which is actually what I would use is the first 6 months. And here's the thing. And this I can tell you for sure. I actually helped somebody buy a for sale by owner property. This goes back quite a few years. And there was no commission involved in that. In doing so, because my commitment was we'll find them the right home. And don't misunderstand me, Ted. Your question is awesome. And it's exactly the right question. I'm so grateful that you asked it. By buying or helping them buy that home with 0 commission, I didn't get any, and they asked about it. I said, no, that's not my commitment. My commitment was to you and to your well-being, and this is the perfect home. They referred 3 people to me, and they continue to refer people to me. They are phenomenal clients of mine, and they'll be clients for the rest of my life because I've proven to them that they're most important. By you saying, if you don't love your home, I will sell it for free the first 6 months. Now, obviously, the marketing expense you'll have to pay for, but there will be no commission besides our gross cost that has to be paid. Okay. And if you're on an 80-20 split, so 20% has to go to your brokerage and you're going to refer the rest of them. So there is a net proceed in there, and that's all part of the asterisk. And, the cost that is broker costs, it's commission paid to me directly that I will be doing for free, minus expenses for marketing or any marketing that's put in, receipts will be provided. But you're also helping them buy another home. And here's the thing, if they don't like their property, they're probably going to use another real estate agent because the agent that sold it to them didn't stand with them. And they're going to use another agent to buy that home. So that sale is going to happen, but not with you. While your concern is absolutely valid, think about it this way. You're doing the right thing. You'll almost never have to do it. But they think you do, and you will, which means you are now elevated to high professional standard that stand behind what they're doing. And if you did have to do it, you'd pick up a buyer side commission too. Now, Ted, may I ask you a question that's kind of it's a little personal. Actually, I'm not going to. For anybody who has not listed properties as a main focus, that's all I did for the first 18 years of my real estate career for the most part. And listing a home is substantially easier work than working with a buyer. And it gives you much more control. And if you list their home, who they would list with somebody else, as the superstar who's doing it basically for free, and they have a certificate, there's a good chance they're going to refer you because you stood behind what you said and you're engaged with, oh, Ted, we're really not sure we like it. You know that I'm going to sell this for free and I'll help you buy the next property that you do love if you're not satisfied, because you're the only thing that matters in this. You are the sole purpose of everything I do. Now, you would have lost that one, and you would have lost the buy side. More importantly, you would have lost doing the right thing and helping somebody, even though there's about a 99% chance you'll never have to do that. I've never had to buy it or pay a mortgage, 45% guarantee. Almost nobody buys a home unless they just ridiculously price it wrong, and that's your own fault. So does that help a little bit? I know it kind of sets in your craw. It's like, golly, selling it for free? Not really. You're picking up a lifetime client and you're actually picking up another transaction and you're doing the easy work, listing a property. The hard part is getting the listing, doing the easy work of listing the property. And you know what? I would probably say, well, we're going to definitely hold an open house, which means you're going to pick up another buyer and you've got a phenomenal referral and say they bought this home and it didn't fit them exactly and they had to move in the first 6 months. Because I'm protecting my clients, I'm selling this home for free. I'll do the same thing for you, Mr. and Mrs. Open House Visitor. Do you see what we're doing? We're elevating. We're going above and beyond. We're addressing some issues. It was an awesome question, Ted. Thank you so much for asking that, because everybody probably had that same thing in their mind. Did that help at all?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now,
Right on.
see, yeah, I could do that. Right.
Oh, 100%. Are you kidding? Yes, you can. Oh my God. Listen, it stands there, Ted. It stands with everybody on this call, and I mean that. QuickTalkWithGeorge.com. You ever want to do one-on-one with me, brother? I got your back. That's what we're here for. We're partners. And I mean that for everybody on the call. Y'all want a one-on-one? Go to QuickTalkWithGeorge.com and just pick a time on the schedule, and let's talk about what you're specifically doing. At a minimum, let's get 10 or 15 minutes in just about you. And I mean that. I'm here to help you all. Selfishly, I get more from helping than I actually do from anything else. So I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. I want to help because I learn in doing so. But Ted, seriously, yeah, you got this, man. Seriously, think about that. Have that conversation with everybody. Listen, I'm so confident that we'll find the perfect home. That if we don't find you the perfect home, I will sell your home for free and help you find the perfect home. Guaranteed. I will receive no commitment. We'll get your home sold. Won't cost you a penny. That's how confident I am. Who's this guy? That's good stuff. Thank you very much. God bless you, man. I appreciate that. All right. Anybody else have any other insights, questions, or concerns? I'm here for you. I want to answer them. Tiffany, I nailed it. I rocked the house. Okay. All right. It is, I don't know what time it is. 9:15. Y'all know my schedule. At 9:30, I hop on a phone. I start making phone calls. I got to do my prospecting. You need to do the same. And I cannot not do this because I don't get a chance to do it. Natasha, I'm sending love and warmth to you in Joliet, Illinois. I just have to call you out every time. She's
Oh, hey, how are you? Well, since I have you, your certificate of what it was called, I can't think of it right now.
Certificate of appreciation. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a template for it that you have that's already pre-filled out?
There is, Tiffany. Well, it's actually, you're going to have to fill it out on there, and the template's a Canva one. Tiffany, would you drop that back in there for me if you wouldn't mind? She's going to drop the Canva template. And
I was going to get with you. I need to get a different type of link because the link that you shared is still protected and we can't access that. But we're working on that. We'll get it.
Okay. Well, you know my email, Tiffany?
I do.
Oh, here it goes. It's in the chat right now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
It's going to be in the chat right now.
Okay.
And yep, that's public share link. And just for everybody to kind of get a feel for it, it looks just like this. Boy. So using your iPad as your main screen.
George, I want the link to where I can go in and edit it, not recreate it. I need the template. I'm lazy. I want to rip off and duplicate. Oh, that look good. Tiffany, can I get the rip off and duplicate part, the version?
Oh my God. He didn't even say bye. He just left. I got to stop the live. Hold on. And the recording. My